Have our teams ruined the trade deadline? Are you excited for what the Wings could do today, or are you dreading prices are too high, couldn't make a deal, Steve Yzerman? 248-539-9797. Get to the phones, Matt and Grand Blanc. Matt, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Good show.
Thanks.
So, shame on Yzerman if he does not make a move, because he ate from the tree that bore really good fruits back when he played. All those trades, Hull, Shanahan, Chelios, he was getting the crap beat out of him, and Ilitch made those trades, and all of a sudden he's protected, and they're winning cups. So he's lived it. He knows what happens when you make really good trades. And I don't know what his problem is that he is so stubborn that he doesn't see what he actually experienced as a player.
It's a great point. And, I can't question him as a competitor because I watched him skate with the C on his sweater for years and know how competitive he is. At the same time, I want to see that bleed over to when you're in the race, you're in the hunt, the competitive juices are flowing, deals are being made. The guy next to you is getting better. Are you getting better? And the answer is often, well, I have a responsibility to the organization, and I'm not going to do things that are going to hurt us long term. Meanwhile, they're just kind of treading water, just staying afloat where they are. John, I don't have a great deal of confidence they're going to make the playoffs. They're in right now. They're going to be gripping the wheel to the finish. I'd like to get a little more confidence by adding today at the deadline.
Yeah, you want to increase your odds, increase your chances.
You know who's saying the same thing? Lucas Raymond in the locker room yesterday. You know who said the same thing last year? Dylan Larkin. You know who said the same thing? Todd McClellan on our radio show, who said we've done enough to be buyers. And then he said, the prices have to make sense. But the prices are what they are. Either you're going to make a move or you're not going to make a move.
Well, Eddie, also, I still think that the last time we talked about some of the things that he had to say after games, we got guys out there that are just wearing jerseys. They're skating around in jerseys. They're not contributing. I think that was also a message to Steve Yzerman.
Have deadlines been ruined by our teams? John points out, hey, Brad did get Zadarius, but we're talking about October of 2024 is the last time you felt genuinely pumped up about our teams at the deadline. And today, I will stress, is supposed to be fun. This texter says, I'm still waiting for another Austin Jackson Detroit sports trade moment. He says, I remember watching the game with bated breath, hoping to see the Tigers get better. And like magic, Austin Jackson leaves game mid-game. David Price arrives in Detroit.
Yeah.
That's Nick in Toledo. There was a high that day because the A's went out and added a pitcher, and I can't remember who it was. But Carson Anderson are at gate A, and they're talking about what the A's did and how can the Tigers keep up in this race to not only make the playoffs but chase a World Series, right? It's Mr. Ilitch and World Series or bust, and we're constantly looking for little tidbits and clues and crumbs because our team's going to do something big. And it happens mid-game, and it's the biggest, best pitcher on the market. But that's more than a decade ago, John.
And everyone can see, what's right in front of them. And you're looking at the standings, and you're saying, who has already gotten better? And a team that is only 3 points better than you in Buffalo has pushed their chips to the center of the table.
So they traded for Parayko, but then he put the halt on it.
Right.
But what did they do? They didn't take no for an answer. They went out and traded for 2 more defensemen.
Right. And so you're a team now. Ultimately, do they catch?
I don't know.
Buffalo. We don't know. Buffalo is in a better position right now as a team and in terms of the standings. But you could also narrow the gap today.
Right. Text coming in, guys, good morning. I find these deadlines to be an exercise in frustration. I'm no longer excited. I don't understand how all 4 of our teams have improved, which is good, but none of the general managers seem to have an urgency to bump it one more level. Complacency is driving me crazy. The Pistons last night is another example. That's Jerome and Redford. Jim, you're disappointed because your expectations are so high and usually unrealistic. To some, it may sound that way. I don't feel like the Red Wings have to go out and trade for Robert Thomas and give up multiple firsts and gut their AHL roster. I've asked for a couple blue liners that would be here beyond this season. And maybe a center who played it for the Plymouth Whalers and has a connection to the area. I don't think I've set an unrealistic bar for this deadline. I also didn't say, like, if you don't get Giannis, we're burning the city down for the Pistons. I think we try to set a realistic bar. Are we not doing that?
Well, and all of the players that we have highlighted, whether it's Falk or it's Trocheck or it's Rustalainen,
yeah,
they all fit easily under the cap.
Right. They don't have to worry about retaining salaries or, jumping through hoops or matching or squeezing $1 out of a stone, nothing like that.
It really all comes down to what is Steve Yzerman willing to part ways with?
Right.
Draft picks or prospects?
I said it in passing.
Or both.
It could be both, depending on the player. To Carson Anderson yesterday. It's a pain tolerance thing, right? You got to give to get. There's going to be some pain when you make a deal. You got to have a pain tolerance when it comes to this time of year. Tech says, no, you've ruined the deadline, Jim. It's my fault. Jim, you're a fun guy to be around. No joy. I'm not stealing your joy. I'm asking if you have it today. I don't. I can only speak for myself. You excited about what the Wings are going to do today, or are you dreading it?
I would really like them to add.
Me too.
I think that this is a team that will get into the postseason even if they don't.
5 points up, 20 games to go.
Right, but it's also, when I say that, if they don't, my expectations are that they're a first-round exit.
Oh, yeah. I'm not
Easily.
under any delusions.
If they do, they may still be a first-round exit, but I think there's a better chance that you could extend the season a little bit more. And if you add a guy like Falk, who's could be here for a couple of years, then what are you doing in free? Like, it adds excitement not just for this year, but it adds excitement for the future.
Great point. And the dynamics in the NHL, more than any other sport, rarely do we see big-time free agents hit free agency. So it's why if you added a player now who would also be here next year,
yeah,
certainly has some value. I mean, it's
it
not
gives
about
you
being
something
right.
to be excited about this year and the years to come. And then as soon as the season's over, we'll start talking about free agency and maybe even next year's trade deadline.
It's almost like sports fans want to talk about making their team better, huh? 248-539-9797. Some more response coming in. It says, guys, how many teams even make a trade during the deadline? A handful? You're acting like every team makes 4 or 5 moves. No, but I mean, shorthand. John brought up Buffalo's made a couple moves. Stars have added a couple players. Oilers, Ducks, and Avs have all traded first-round picks. I mean, teams make moves. We're just not in this city. Not anymore. It's 97.1.